Brodes Media.
Yo, what's going on here, everybody? Welcome on in to Sports Talk with Brodes. So, as you know, we do these daily pods throughout the Eagles playoff run, and it's late on Tuesday. We heard from Nick Sirianni on WIP with the morning show. We heard from the coordinators, Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio. And it's time to give you my early thoughts on this matchup. I'm very confident, as I should be. We have a formula that is so hard to stop, borderline impossible. And while the Commanders have a quarterback that is generating buzz league-wide, there's no way that is going to scare me. Not that he can't ball. I think he looks legit as hell this season. No doubt about it. But, hear me out. Aaron Rodgers and his prime was special. Nobody can argue that, right? Special. He lost playoff games. Tom Brady didn't win every single season. Peyton Manning, the best of the best of the best of the best, failed in playoff moments. If that's the case, when a Jaden Daniels, is going up against a team this lethal at home in an NFC championship game, while I respect what their quarterback has accomplished so early in his career and in his first go-around, it is unique, for sure. But if the best to ever do it have failed in playoff moments, I'm damn sure going to believe that Jaden Daniels can fail as well, especially when he's going up against a defense like this. And spare me that he had an awesome fourth quarter when these two teams met previously, because that game was coming off of, first off, the Eagles winning 10-plus games in a row. So eventually you are going to have a slip-up. 2, 11 snaps in, you're on your backup quarterback. And 3, hey, good for you. You got it once. What are the odds you can do that against a defense this special twice? So I'm not shaking in my boots a lick. I feel we have the better team. I believe we have the better coaching staff. I believe we have home field advantage, which plays a massive role in winning these games. And we're not on our 50,000th IR defensive player. Holy shit, that was awful. We don't have as many banged up guys on the defense as the Detroit Lions do. I feel great. I feel great. And Shannon Sharp on First Take, I'm not going to say described it perfectly to a T, because I don't necessarily agree with everything he's saying about our passing game. But wait until you hear what he had to say about our generational running game that is unstoppable. Because what we're doing, I don't know if it truly has settled in. The level of dominance that Saquon Barkley provides. Sure, we scream, we dance, we go nuts whenever he runs it to the house. And we expect it because it's every single week, multiple times a week. But when you really process what he's doing, this team's offense, this wins Super Bowls. This elite style of explosive plays wins Super Bowls. Whether those explosive plays happen to be in the passing game or the run game, why does it matter? Explosive plays are effective no matter which way they come. You can load the box as much as you want. And guess what? It doesn't stop anything. If anything, once you realize the rough angles you take are going to exploit your holes, whoo! Saquon goes 78. Saquon goes 82. Saquon goes 65. And there's nobody back there to help out. It's the truth. Hey, before we get cooking into this, let me tell you about DraftKings, shall we? Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score 6. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Hey, check out NBA action, NHL action too, every single night. And of course, Conference Championship weekend, baby. You know where I'm going with my money on the Birds. Lines and odds are subject to change. DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BRODES. That's code BRODES for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. All right, so let's listen to Shannon Sharp. Here he is. Well, maybe I should have everything prepared prior because that did not play through my headset. All right, let's give it a whirl.
Yeah, because you can't stop the run. I'm in my first Super Bowl.
Let me preface it by saying I suck at this. Are the Eagles and their offense, can the offense win a Super Bowl? Whew, I'm sorry, I'm out to lunch.
Yeah, because you can't stop the run. I'm in my first Super Bowl. John, go back and look at those stats. Well, if you can't stop TD, you can't beat us. I used to tell, it got so bad, Stephen A. and Dio, I used to tell guys, if y'all stop TD, we'll throw the ball. If y'all don't stop him from running, we're not going to throw it. And right now, no one can stop them running the football. That offensive line is doing what they do. They're a dominant offensive line. They're one of the 2 or 3 best offensive lines in football. Not only can they pass block, but it's a pleasure. It's a joy for them because they really wanted Saquon to get that record also because they would have been immortalized. They would have been in the record book for immortality. But it didn't happen. But look at these holes that he's running through. Why would I ever want to have Jalen Hurts to drop back and throw the ball when so many things can go wrong? As opposed to just turn around and hand it off to him, and he hit his head on the goalpost from 60 yards. 4 of those runs, 4 TD runs against the Rams, covered at least 60 yards, guys. Do you understand how hard that is? This is an NFL team. So, yes, this offense is good enough. You're going to have to make them beat you with their weakness. I believe their weakness is throwing the football. But if you keep playing to their strength, letting them run the football, yes, they can run themselves to a Super Bowl victory. Yes, they can.
They can run themselves to a Super Bowl victory. There's no doubt about it. My thing is, people aren't playing into their strengths. Trust me, when you game plan for the Philadelphia Eagles, you are making sure you are trying to stop 26. It's just impossible to stop 26. That's the difference. And yes, their passing game is their weakness when you compare it to all their other strengths. But I do believe if there is magically somehow a way to slow down Saquon a bit, and we've really only seen maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers do it, and I don't believe the Commanders' rush defense can. Okay? They are at the bottom of the league. They get torched. They get annihilated. So if they feel they can stack the box and their personnel could do something that they haven't done all year long, as we are essentially, 5-6 months into this damn season? September, October, November, December, January. 5 months into this damn season, all of a sudden the Commanders are going to have what it it takes and have the personnel and structure to stop a run game? They haven't. Yet they're going to stop the best run game, not only in the league, but in centuries, in decades, in the world. This is the best run game we've seen. There's no way. But teams have tried. They just can't. So let's imagine a world where somehow they do. They won't, but they do. Well, it's going to take a lot of men in that box. When that's the case, this passing game will no longer be a weakness because the matchups that are available off of that, they are going to be so depleted in other areas to stop this passing game with A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Devontae Smith. That's why the Pittsburgh game passing was so strong. They were able to when they had to. And when they have to, they can. But there's no reason to go that route until the Commanders prove that over a long period of time, they can shove Saquon down to the ground. And what also makes this really special, too, this run game is even if there's 5, 6, 7 carries in a row that don't necessarily wow us, all it takes is one. It takes one breakaway free rush to the house for 55 yards. So honestly, even if there is a way, which there isn't, where he doesn't have the production that we expect, you keep handing him the rock because eventually you'll go all the way. And then you'll see in the replay, Lane Johnson put his hands up and celebrate with Jordan Mailata while there's, 25 yards of open green grass in front of Saquon as he's celebrating with the crowd because nobody's even close to him. Nobody's an inch close to his body. So my question is, I don't understand why. And why does it bother people that these explosive plays are happening and occurring in the run game? If you're having the same amount in the passing game, it would be viewed differently. If these big touchdowns and these awesome, incredible, huge, game-breaking plays are happening with AJ and Jalen instead of Jalen and Saquon and the offensive line, it would change the perception. In a way, hear me out. There was probably a time where teams in the NBA wondered, all right, Steph Curry's an outlier. Can you survive by jacking up that many threes? But when you are as extremely talented as Steph Curry is, the answer is obviously fuck yes. Because he does it at a level that nobody else does. Now, unfortunately, you got 28% shooters from behind the arc trying their very best to duplicate it, and that is no bueno, okay? But when you have something that sticks out like a sore thumb and is different than everybody else, when he first came in the league from Davidson and he was starting to destroy people nonstop, there were questions on how this works, how this happens. And it has to be the first. At some point, someone needs to be the first to do it at that crazy clip. Well, Saquon is essentially Steph Curry. Saquon's different than everybody else. So if other teams running the rock can't do it as efficiently as him, who cares? He can. And this team is doing it where their explosive plays happen to be on the ground and they are different than everybody else. And they're doing it in a way where everyone wonders, I don't know, is it sustainable? Can you do it forever? Yes! Steph Curry proved it, and now Saquon Barkley and the Eagles are going to prove it. And it takes something different. It takes something rare. It takes something that is so elite that it only comes around a couple of times. A special athlete like Saquon Barkley. But guess what? That's what we have. So when you apply the dialogue around does this work? It's not does this work from a grand scheme of things. Does this work if you apply the same method to a Tennessee Titans with Ryan Tannehill, not the same defense, not the same offensive line with Derrick Henry? Not can you apply this to a team that has Le'Veon Bell, let's say, back when Le'Veon, how about that? I pulled that out of my ass. Le'Veon Bell. No. Does it work with Mailata, Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Dickerson, Jalen Hurts, Mekhi Becton, Saquon Barkley? Yes. And by the way, the defense still needs to respect A.J. Brown and Devontae. Yes. Yes. So, I mean, I love the way Unc described it. I really do. I think he laid it out very nicely from the running game department. I believe they can pass if needed, because remember, if there happens to be a world, which there won't be, where it is needed, that means the matchups are significantly favorable in the passing game because they have to use bodies to stop the run. So it won't be the same as trying to force the passing game in a specific drive where the team isn't set up to fully sell out to stop the run. Because that's essentially what it's going to take. You have to sell out everyone. And if you sell out everyone, one, I still think Saquon could do dirty work. And two, then that's when you'll see it flourish more. Airing the ball downfield. And you'll still get some of these big plays. I feel great. I really do. I also flat out don't believe the Commanders can stop the run well enough. So their deficiency is our strength. While their strength, which is their quarterback play, we have strengths defensively. We don't necessarily know where Quinyon Mitchell and that status is. I heard Vic Fangio mention Isaiah Rodgers and having a lot of belief in him. And when he came back from injury, maybe he wasn't necessarily where he was prior to the injury, but now he feels he's getting stronger and he's getting closer to that, if not back to that. And then with Jalen, Nick Sirianni gave us the classic standard. We'll see how it plays out the rest of the week. We're obviously going to monitor it, but until there's a reason for me to believe that he is not able to go on Sunday, I am absolutely going to approach this week with, yeah, he's going, until proven otherwise. And I still feel even if he isn't 100%, which he's not going to be 100%, if he does get the nod, I still believe in him. He's still going to be out there, and he's going to gut it out, and he's going to give us everything he had. Trust me, I don't think Jalen Hurts ain't, lacing up those cleats in an NFC championship game at home for a chance to go to the Super Bowl, okay? So I do expect him to be out there. You want some numbers about Saquon Barkley? Saquon Barkley averaged 5.2 yards per carry with 8+ defenders in the box this season, which includes the playoffs. He has 2 touchdowns of 20+ yards with 8+ defenders in the box, 2 against the Rams and one came against, yes, you guessed it, the Washington Commanders. There's also numbers from Next Gen Stats talking about how he was going 20+ miles per hour and he couldn't be stopped, and that stuff's just incredible. He reached 20+ miles per hour on both of his touchdown runs on Sunday. He now has 13 runs of 20+ miles per hour this season, more than double the next closest player in the National Football League. Come on, man. Come on. Now, as I am recording this, a couple minutes ago, Jason Dumas tweeted out, source, I have been told that both Quinyon and Jalen Hurts will play Sunday. I know Nick Sirianni basically said this on the radio today regarding Jalen, and Quinyon told Olivia, who works for the Inquirer, this much postgame, just pushing it forward as of Tuesday evening, a few days removed. No surprise. Eagles have scheduled a walkthrough on Wednesday that will be closed to reporters. Eventually, we will get an estimated status update on Jalen Hurts, and he is expected to talk at his normal time late in the afternoon. Reading the tea leaves there, it is that Hurts is playing, and the Eagles will try to manage him through the week as best as they can. No surprises. Just trying to give you guys the updates and keeping you as in the know as possible. All right, listen, we have anytime hotline calls, so I absolutely want to react to how you're all feeling out there. First, let me tell you about HelloFresh. With HelloFresh, you get farm-fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. A crazy schedule can make it easy to fall back into your dinner time recipe rut. So keep mealtime exciting with over 40 recipes to choose from every week. So there's always something delicious to discover with HelloFresh. HelloFresh does all the shopping and meal planning for you. Nothing's worse, by the way, than having to go to the grocery store. A grocery store. It would be nice if I could speak, considering it's my job. But you don't have to worry about going grocery shopping because ingredients arrive at your doorstep pre-portioned and ready to cook along with pictured step-by-step recipe cards. How easy is that? Right before I jumped into the studio to do a show here, I cooked up a beautiful HelloFresh meal because I was running out of time. It only takes about 20 minutes. Bada bing, bada boom, threw stuff in the pan. It's all right there already pre-portioned for me. I'm telling you, if you go to HelloFresh.com/50Brodes and use code 50Brodes for 50% off plus free shipping, you'll see how delicious and beautiful this is. That is HelloFresh.com/50Brodes for 50% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Do I have anything else to get off my chest? I hate Joshua Harris. That's #1. I hate Chip Kelly, who won a national championship last night with the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's #2. There's a few things I got here, but I want to make sure I get some calls in too. So let's start the call process, and then I'll get to my points throughout this. All right, here we go.
What's up, Brodes? Big fan of you. I'm from Chicago, and man, am I lucky my dad became Eagles fan because Randall Cunningham. That game Sunday changed my life. Saquon Barkley is the best running back I've ever witnessed in my lifetime.
That's right.
Also, the Jalen Hurts slander needs to stop. The dude doesn't turn the ball over. He's an athlete. He's a freak. Can we stop overreacting and saying we want Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee to go in? Whatever. Go Birds. Commanders, we're coming for revenge. Be careful.
That's right, baby. I like that. You're absolutely right. I think that loss is pissing this team off. Now, full disclosure, I would not have been mad if they won that second game against the Commanders. And I know now that the loss occurred, there are some Eagles fans convincing themselves that maybe it was a good thing. That maybe it is good because, quote, it'll be hard to beat 3 teams in a row. Although, if I remember correctly off the top of my head, so don't quote me, I don't think it's as difficult as that cliche is. But once again, don't quote me. That's just what I remember hearing and seeing. But anyway, if you're beating a team twice, there's a reason why you're beating a team twice. Because you are better than them. Therefore, if you happen to do that, let's go, baby. Let's meet for a third time, and I'm going to kick your ass. So I wouldn't have been angry if that was the case. But now that this happened, I think it will piss the Birds off and that locker room off because of how Jalen went down, because how they still should have won if Devontae just caught the ball. And now there's added motivation. There's added frustration with how it all played out, that we are going to prove to you that that little cute win that you were excited about was a fucking fluke. And what we started the game off with, scoring at will, Jalen just being sensational, we were grooving, we had control of the game, that was going to be how it played out the rest of the way if we didn't have our quarterback's head in the grass like that. And yeah, Frankie Louvu, you better watch out for this dude, because he's a scumbag, because he is super dirty, he's super cheap, and this Commanders team, I think, sort of plays with that, which part of me admires toughness, even though it won't even come close to the toughness that we could provide. But there's another element where you got to be prepared, because they're going to take unnecessary shots and be absolute pricks about it. They did the same thing to Jared Goff, which should have been flagged. So pay attention to Frankie Louvu and get into his face and make it living hell for him, because he's going to have to be taken out of this game. and you need to out-physical him. And I expect them to, and I believe they will. But I want that to sort of be a focus and an emphasis that you can't let that guy go out there and pull the tricks that he decided to do over the last couple of weeks. And as I'm talking out loud about it, part of me goes, does he deserve that thought? Are we doing ourselves a disservice by spending our quality time and what we should be doing preparing? My God. When we're preparing, should we be giving Frankie Louvu that much care, that much attention? I don't know yet. This is why it's the Early Thoughts podcast. So I'm conflicted there. You got to have your head on a swivel to some level. You got to know. But he doesn't deserve that much attention either. See, this is why we do this. This is why we do these type of exercises. I have another exercise to do for you. Instead of focusing on their quarterback, I want you to put the shoe on the other foot for a moment. I want you, which is just disgusting, by the way, to look through this matchup as if you are in the lenses of a Commanders fan, if they even have any. So, look at the Eagles. What do they bring to the football field that scares you? Holy hell. That list has to be long. If you have a brain, right? If you have knowledge, if you have smarts when it comes to the sport, that list of things to be concerned about, that list of things to consider, that list of things on how we have to somehow match up with that, it's a dangerous game to play. And that list is way, way, way longer than if we do that exercise from our viewpoint. Because it's Daniels. Okay. And look, quarterback, big deal in this league. But once again, I've already shown you that there are plenty of examples of the greatest of all time, the most elite, the best throwers, MVPs, year after year, Lamar Jackson. They lose playoff games all the time. And as you see with this current Eagles team, it takes a team. And they've had a nice story. And I get it, there are sometimes miracle rides that nobody sees coming, but there are a lot of times, a majority of times, whenever there is that Cinderella team, nobody remembers the times it comes up short. Nobody remembers the times where the team that is just flat out better knocks them off, and then there is no cute little miracle story that finishes with a happy ending. It happens once in a blue moon. But more times than not, the team that's faster, tougher, more physical, more prepared, better with the football by keeping it in your own possession. Brian Robinson. How did that go the last time he was running his damn mouth? My dude put the ball on the carpet and then was crying on the sidelines. Guess what Jalen Carter is going to force him to do again? I'm just saying. You're going to see Jalen Carter's going to force a fumble. He's going to punch it out. Nolan Smith, one of these guys, and then he'll be crying again on those sidelines. All right, let's go back to the phones.
Hey, Brodes, it's Eric. I was your last call for the after-game pod on Sunday. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, leading up to the NFC Championship game. I'm a few minutes into your Beauty of Philadelphia Eagles Football and Jalen Hurts pod. Loving what I'm hearing so far, and I just can't stop standing for Saquon. And honestly, Saquon is one of the best players in the league. You know, we saw the close-up of him before a second touchdown run, turned to Jalen going, look, man, I got this. He saw something in the field, ripped one off. But what we also have to really appreciate is Jalen knowing his role. And that is not he gets paid the millions of dollars, but he's not the guy that needs to carry the team on his back by himself anymore. He understands that. If you look at Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes from this past divisional weekend, Hurts has better stats than both of them. Yet, everybody's dogging on Hurts because he's not him. He's not the guy. He knows what he's supposed to be doing, and that is give the rock to Saquon and let him run for 200 yards in a game. Go Birds.
Yeah, man, I agree completely. And it's not just that he knows what he needs to do, but he also has the personality where he doesn't care that this is what he has to do. Because there could be some quarterbacks that are worried about what's being said about them, that do focus on the outside noise, that do want to be the top dog, to be in all the commercials and all that. Now, Jalen's having that organically. He's got that Jordan brand. He's got the GQ magazine front cover. He gets it just because of his swag and his personality alone. But I'm just saying there are guys that want to be the loudmouth, that want to be the obnoxious one, that want to be the face of everything, that want to be on every single talk show and be that loud, yo, that's the guy. That's the face of the NFL. I want to be the one that is the biggest marketed player. And with that, it comes with putting the team on your back and being the guy and making all the wow highlight plays. And it may be the best thing for the team for that individual to maybe just be more of a secondary controller, saying controlling the game, and Saquon being the face of it all. And maybe they don't accept that. Even if it's the best thing for the team, they don't accept it. They don't like it. And there's arrogance about it. And there's frustration about it. They may do it, but behind the scenes, it ruffles feathers. I'm just saying, there are quarterbacks that have that type of approach to it all. And Jalen is just so obsessed with winning. My man would go 0 for 1 throwing the football for 18 straight weeks. And then in the playoffs, have 4 passing attempts, maybe only complete 1, have 7 yards total, and win a Super Bowl, which obviously is impossible, but probably not with this team. But even if that's the case, my man doesn't give a damn. My man doesn't care at all. He is so obsessed with winning. I think it's in its own category of obsessed with winning. When you play professional football, to get there, your mindset is wired differently just to get there. Then let alone be a starter. Then let alone last for years and years and years. But somehow, of all the ones that are obsessed with winning and have the unique mindset that they all do to be here, I feel Jalen is in a tier of his own. Brady was in a tier of his own. But this obsession with winning is different. It's different. And you're so right. It's not about anything other than, what's that scoreboard say at the end? I did enough. And every single week he proves that he does enough. It's crazy. Now here's a take that I constantly get lately. Why aren't you afraid of the Commanders? They earned their way to get to the NFC Championship game. And they're hot. They're the hot, shiny toy. Yeah, let me explain something to you. When you get to the NFC Championship game, you're hot too. You don't accidentally get to an NFC Championship game. So yes, that would admit that the Commanders did something to get here. Good for them. That also means we did too. And once you get to this time of the year, no matter who you play, they are some version of, quote, hot. Whether they had a bye, so that means they earned the best seed in their conference and then beat a team in the divisional round. Now they're in the conference championship. They're a damn good team. Or they didn't win their respected conference. They had to win a wild card round, a divisional round, and here they are in the conference championship. All these teams have something about them. Why would that scare me? We have more about us than they have about them. They have something about them. We have more about us. So just because they have a berth in this upcoming weekend, anyone who gets here is some version of, quote, hot, or doing something that's, quote, good or great or amazing. Final 4 teams. Sack up, buckle up, and let's fucking go. You're here for a reason. Come on, man. I hate that attitude. I do. All right, I thought I'd get to more calls, but I'm terrible. I still have all the calls lined up, though, for these future shows. And if you want to react and haven't left your thoughts yet, 856-442-9805. We will continue to use your phone calls all throughout the week. And hey, listen, if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up button. And you could take these shows on the podcasting platforms that are available for you. Apple Podcasts, Spotify. A 5-star rating and a review means the world for me over on those platforms as well to keep helping grow there. So thank you so much. TikTok, Instagram, Brodes Media, that's all there for you. Last thing, Garage Beer. It's the best light beer on the planet. So when you go into a store and you say, all right, what am I going to bring to the party? All right, the Birds play on Sunday. I'm going to bring the alcohol. If you don't bring Garage Beer, you're a fool. Don't worry about the IPA. It's 0% IPA. It's 100% light beer. It's 1,000% quality. DrinkGarageBeer.com. Do not be a fool. Make sure you get yourself the best on the market. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much. I love you. We'll be talking soon. I'll see you on the next one.